Hi there, this is Nicole Seidlitz with Tree of Life Feng Shui, and today I want to talk about one of the most important aspects in Feng Shui. Now, this is something that you can start implementing and doing right away. You don't need to have any previous knowledge in Feng Shui. You don't need to have an expert come over. Just the tips I'm going to give you today, and you'll be all set to start living a happier, healthier, more empowered life, okay? And this subject is, and a lot of us have dealt with this before, I'm sure you're dealing with it now, is clutter, okay? So today I'm going to talk about clutter clearing, the effects that clutter has on our lives, and more specifically the negative effects clutter has on our life, and how you can get rid of it and how it's going to help you. So the main point of this is for you to walk away with this set of tips, and it's actually it's kind of a guideline that you can follow, and trust me, you will feel so much better once you get rid of things that you no longer need. It's just about letting go, just letting go of whatever no longer serves you, okay? Now, before I get into how clutter affects us and how to get rid of it, I want you to keep in mind two very important things. Important thing number one, it is outside as it is inside, and it is inside as it is outside, okay? This is one of the basic premises in Feng Shui. And it basically means that whatever is out there in your physical space is because in some way it's like that inside of you. So your inner world is reflected in your outer world, okay? So it's an outward expression of whatever's going on inside you. And same thing, it's kind of a cycle, and it's kind of the egg and the chicken. You don't know which one comes first, because all of a sudden the outer world and your physical space affects the inside, affects you on the inside, okay? And important thing number two that I want you to keep in mind is that clutter accumulates where energy stagnates, and energy stagnates where clutter accumulates. So it's kind of that cycle that keeps going. So the more clutter you have, the more clutter is bound to be accumulated in that area, because the energy keeps stagnating, keeps attracting more and more clutter. So I'm sure we all have that one drawer or that one closet in our house, or maybe it's more than that, maybe it's the garage or a bigger space where you tend to put things that you don't know where to put or you no longer use, and you just shove them in there, and day by day, week by week, month by month, a whole bunch of stuff is in there, and you really don't feel like going in there and clearing it out, but if you do, then you would feel a ton better, right? So those are the two important things that I want you to keep in mind. It is outside as it is inside, and clutter accumulates where energy stagnates, okay? So we have been taught, unfortunately, and in the society that we live in, especially in the country that we live in, that more is better. And through media and through TV and through all kinds of different social situations, we tend to believe that we need things, when ultimately we don't really need that much. If you go into your house right now, or if you go just in your room and look at your closet, do you really need all the clothes that you have? You probably only wear like 20% of the clothes in your closet. So I really want you to think about, if you're watching this, just really kind of put new glasses on and try to focus on what it is you actually need. Because whatever you're not using, whatever you don't really need, could be what someone else needs. So you're keeping something that you don't need, that you're not using, and that someone could actually really benefit from it. So just keep that in mind when you're clearing, and throughout this video, to see if that kind of helps you with the clearing process. So, right, we're taught that we need a bunch of things, right? So what happens? We start buying things, and it's so easy to buy things here. We have Amazon, we go to Target, we have all of these amazing resources to just buy things at the tip of our fingers, and we end up with a ton of stuff that we don't really need that ends up becoming clutter. Am I right? So let's go back to our important thing number two. Clutter is stuck energy. So all of a sudden we have all this stuck energy in our home. And how does that affect us, right? You might be thinking, well, how does that affect me, having all these things in my home? Well, everything in our home and every single object everywhere has a frequency, and it has energy, and it also has an emotional tie to us. And this can affect us very negatively in many different ways. So listen to these things and see if you recognize any of these things, because it might be time to start getting rid of things you don't need. Clutter can make you feel tired and lethargic, okay? Because having all that stuck energy, you're just like, I don't really feel like anything. You feel tired, you don't want to move. That's stuck energy. So it makes sense that it makes you feel that way, right? It can also keep you in the past. A lot of times we keep a bunch of memorabilia. I don't even know how to, I blanked on that, sorry. But a lot of things from the past, right? We keep pictures and letters and, I don't know, old clothes and things that remind us of the past. And even if we're not looking through those pictures or those letters, or not even wearing that clothes anymore, that energy is there and it's affecting us. And if you find yourself thinking about the past often, you might want to consider letting go of these things, okay? It can physically congest your body. So now we were talking about earlier how it is outside as it is inside. So there could be things outside in your physical space in certain areas of the home. So especially if you have things in the center of the home, I'm just going to give an example. The center of the home has to do with health. And if you have things in the center of the home, it could be causing health issues, and it could be causing digestive issues, to be more specific. So something to think about, you know, if you're feeling a little weird or you haven't been feeling good, maybe you should consider looking at all the things you have and maybe getting rid of some. It can also affect your body weight. Same thing, as I said earlier. Collecting things and not letting go of things can also cause you to not let go of weight. So you keep, gaining weight, and it can be harder for you to lose weight if you have a lot of clutter in your home. It can also make you procrastinate, because we have that energy in our home that's stuck energy. So you feel like you don't want to do things, you leave them till last minute, and a lot of times once you clutter clear, you have all this outburst of energy and you feel like you want to accomplish so many things, and it's just energy being released and you opening up the space for new energy and for new things to come into your life. It can depress you. So I don't know if you guys have seen the Hoarder show, but in the Hoarder show, most of them are very depressed. They accumulate all these things. They have their homes are packed, and this is an extreme case, right? They have their home packed with things, and they don't go out. They barely have a social life, and they're just stuck in that home. And yeah, it doesn't look like they have a very happy life. It can cause extra cleaning, because when you're cleaning, you have all this stuff accumulated there, or just, in a corner, and you have to clean around it, or you have to clean through it. So I don't know. I actually like cleaning, but not at the point where I want to do extra cleaning, if you know what I mean. It can cost you financially as well. So some of us even have storage units with things in there, and who knows what is in there. It's been there for years, and you're paying for it, and it's just stuff that you don't use. Wouldn't it be better to just sell it or give it to someone else and just free up that space and free up that money? Those 20, 30, 40, whatever you pay monthly, you could be using it for something else. And then last thing, it can distract you from important things. So it's not uncommon for people who have a lot of clutter in their homes to kind of not focus on what's really important in their life, and they use clutter as a distraction, and they also use clutter as an excuse to not do what they really want to do. Okay, so just a few things to think about. So going back to what I said earlier, every aspect of your life is connected energetically to your physical space. So the beautiful thing about clutter clearing is when you're clearing out clutter, it's like you're sorting out your inner world as well. So all of a sudden, and this can be a very hard process, but it's also very, very beautiful, because you start sorting through your emotions, through thinking patterns, through all kinds of things that are on your inside. And by letting go of things, you're also letting go on the inside, and you're making space for new experiences, for new friendships, maybe for all kinds of different things. So it's actually a very deep and emotional and very life-changing process. So I highly recommend this. And like I said, the cool thing about this is that you can start doing it right away. You don't need to hire anyone. You can just do it on your own. So it's time to let things go and time to get out your pen and paper, because you're going to want to write this down, because these are the steps you're going to follow to get rid of your clutter, okay? So I have a few thumb rules, and I want you to please write these down. Again, write these down and keep them in mind when you're clutter clearing. I want you to get rid of, number 1, things that you do not use or that you do not love. And this is a very important thing. Things that you do not love. If it does not spark joy within you, if it doesn't make you happy, then why are you keeping it in your home? Your home is your sacred space. Why would you want something that you don't love? And then the use part is different. Sometimes we use things a little bit more than others. But if you don't love it, just let it go. Really. Someone else might absolutely love it, and it's better for someone else to have it if they're going to love it more than you do, right? Thumb rule number 2, get rid of things if there's too many of them in a small space. So if you're in a small apartment and you have too many things, you might want to just get rid of some stuff, okay? And maybe once you move into a bigger home, sometimes, so this is the cool thing that happens, sometimes when you so if you live in a small space and you get rid of things, then all of a sudden money starts coming in and you're able to afford a bigger space and have more things that you truly love. Now, I'm more of a less is more kind of girl, so for me I like to have less things even if I am in a bigger space, but that's up to you. So too many things in too small of a space, really, really consider getting rid of some stuff, because you want to open up the energy, open up the space, not have it cluttered and filled with things, right? Thumb rule number 3, things that are untidy or disorganized. Now, you don't necessarily need to get rid of everything that's untidy or disorganized. Just make sure that you organize and tidy up that space. And again, I'll give you another set of guidelines to how we're going to do this. And then number 4, anything that's unfinished. Unfinished things in the home it kind of breaks up the energy. It's not, I really don't recommend it. So if you have anything that's unfinished, give yourself a timeline to finish it. If you don't finish it, then just let it go. Okay, give it away, sell it, whatever. Okay, so once you're ready to start this, I recommend starting with your closet, because we're generally not very emotionally connected to our clothes. Maybe some pieces, yes, but for the most part, we're not very emotionally connected with clothes. So it's the best way to kind of start working the clutter clearing and see how you feel with it and see how it makes you feel. It's a good way to also see some little shifts in your life just by clearing your closet, and then that's probably going to motivate you to tackle more areas in your home, or even your whole home. So start with the clothes, and with the clothes, if it's something that you haven't worn in a year or more, then you probably just want to let it go. And if it's something that you don't fit in or you don't like, you don't want to keep anything like clothes that you're wanting to squeeze into, or you're wanting to lose weight to fit in that clothes. Let it go. Just buy your size, and once you're ready, buy a smaller size. But don't keep clothes that's too small or too big for you. Just let it go. Okay, so now keep your pen and pencil out, because pen and paper, because there are a few things that you need to have before you start clutter clearing, and these are boxes. And I recommend boxes, and I'll tell you why later. But it's just easier to have boxes. They're easier to kind of put next to another instead of having bags. Bags sometimes get messy, so boxes are a lot easier. You need a donations box where you're gonna put in anything you want to donate that you don't feel like you can sell, or if you don't want to sell it, you can just donate it, right? Second box, a garage sale or consignment store box. So this is where you're going to put everything that you can potentially sell in a garage sale, or that you can take to a consignment store and make money off it. A recycle box, so everything that's recycling, this can be papers, anything that you can recycle is going to go in the recycle box. Number 4, a trash box, so everything that's trash obviously goes in the box. And number 5, a transit box. And this is something I learned from Karen Kingston, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit about her at the end, and I'll tell you what book to read if you're interested in learning more about clutter clearing. But the transit box is very interesting because it's when you're clutter clearing an area. So let's say that you pick your closet and you find things in your closet that aren't supposed to be in the closet. You put it in the transit box so you don't lose time going to the area of your home where that thing is from. You just put it in the transit box, and when you're finished clearing the closet, then you grab the transit box and you go around the house putting back everything where it belongs around the house. Now, don't use the transit box for everything. Like, use all the other boxes I mentioned before, and just the transit box for whatever it is that you know you're going to keep and it just doesn't belong in the area that you're clearing. Okay? So that's that. And now a few tips on how to prepare yourself and how to prepare the space before you clutter clear. So number 1, you want to make sure you're in a good mood. So please avoid clutter clearing if you're angry or if you're not feeling good, because it's not going to help you. You're not going to be in a good mood. If you're angry, it's not good. So just make sure that you're in a good mood and you feel ready to clutter clear, and just do it then, okay? Figure out what time of the day you're most productive. And now for me personally, I like to clutter clear in the mornings. For some people it's better at night. Depends on you, and this might take a few trial and errors and just figuring out what time of day is better for you. Number 3, please do open up all the windows of the area you're clearing. So if you're working in your bedroom, open up the windows, make sure fresh air is coming in. If it's wintertime and it's really cold, still just crack the window open just a little bit. Okay? Number 4, play music and have fun while you're doing it, obviously. And also, something that I found very helpful is in my diffuser, I put a few drops of orange or citrus essential oil, and number 1, it helps kind of clear the air, and it also wakes me up, so I feel like I have more energy to clutter clear. Number 5, try to avoid wearing black when you're clutter clearing. Black is the color that kind of holds on to energy. So if you're wearing black, you might feel it's a little more difficult to clutter clear. So try wearing different colors, any colors that you feel energized with. And I also recommend wearing something red. So this could be like a red bracelet or a red shirt. Red is the color of fire, and it also kind of gives you that extra push to tackle the task you're at. Also, make sure to set a defined time for clutter clearing. So you don't want to do more than an hour. I suggest 30 minutes. So 30 minutes, you go and you set your timer. 30 minutes, 45 minutes tops, and you really focus on the task for that time. Then once the timer goes off, you either take a break, and if you feel you have energy to keep going, and this happens a lot once you start clutter clearing, a lot of energy will all of a sudden come out of nowhere, and that's because you're releasing so many things that your body has more energy. So after half an hour, 45 minutes, you might feel like you can tackle your whole home, but take it easy on yourself. It is a very intense and emotional process. So take your time and if you have to, just do little chunks every day, or set some time every week to do it. You don't have to do everything all at once. Please don't. It'll be just exhausting. Also, it's handy to have a little bucket with cleaning products. So as you're clutter clearing, you can go ahead and clean the area. So that way, it kind of saves you time for later. You don't have to go back and clean the area. You just go ahead and clean it as you're clearing the clutter, right? And lastly, you can keep a journal of how you feel and what's going on in your life, and if you see any changes after clutter clearing, because it does happen. And mark my words, things start changing. Once you let go of things that no longer serve you, you're opening up the space in your life for amazing new opportunities to come your way. And keeping a journal will help you remember what clutter clearing can do for you. So make sure to do that. And that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. I really hope that these tips help you and that you start seeing positive shifts in your life. And lastly, I did want to recommend, if you're interested in this subject and you like this video, a lot of what I said today is from Karen Kingston and her book, Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui. It's an amazing book and she's an amazing teacher. I've taken a few of her online courses and they're awesome. So if you're interested in that, Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui by Karen Kingston is an awesome resource. And then also The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. She's a Japanese organizer and she's amazing. She has, I think the wait list is months, to have her come over to your place. In Japan, she's huge, and she released this book, and the book is everywhere. I've seen it everywhere in every bookstore. I've seen it at FedEx. I've seen it at all kinds of different stores, and it is a truly amazing book. And she talks about, she recommends clutter clearing or decluttering in categories instead of rooms, which I think is a very interesting approach, and it's very effective. So, what I shared today is what I have found helpful for me. You might find that a different way of clutter clearing is better for you. So just give it a try. Try different styles, try different things, and see what works for you. Okay, so I would love to hear about your experience, and if you're going through clutter clearing, how that is going for you, or if you have any questions about what I shared today, please comment below and I'll be happy to get back to you. So yeah, just let me know how everything goes, and happy clutter clearing. Bye.